Utah's strength of schedule is booty. That's a very good point. As a matter of fact, let's pick up that point. Utah's strength of schedule is booty, okay? Because Utah ain't got but one ranked win on the schedule. And that team that they beat wasn't ranked at the time. It's USC. Same USC that's got 4 losses. Go 8-4 through the regular season. We'll see what bowl game they end up in. But it's not just that Utah lost to USC. It's that Utah lost to USC with a third-string quarterback in Matt Fink, who went for over 300 yards and was just torching that Utah secondary. Everybody wanted to tell me about how great Utah's defense was. And I'm going, yeah, defensive line is great, but that secondary is trash. And they have been exposed by better football teams, right? If you got anything like a passing game, you can go at Utah. And I expect Oregon to do Oklahoma and perhaps even Baylor if it goes that way, but to do the Big 12's light work by beating up on this Utah team, handing them their second L, so that the Pac-12 ends up with 2 teams with 2 losses and they can't get into the college football playoff yet again. But you're also going up and down its schedule and going, who did Utah play? Are we going to point to BYU? Is that who we're going to point to? Are we going to point to this bad Colorado team that's not even respected in the city of Boulder? Who are we going to point to? Are we going to point to Arizona State? Are we going to point to Arizona? Who are you going to tell me that Utah has beaten to underscore why they should be in the college football playoff? Because right now, the only thing Utah has going for it is that it plays in a Power 5 and that it plays a crappy schedule and has 11 wins. Because if you wanted to compare Utah to Memphis, you'd have the same argument. Because I would ask you, who did Memphis beat? They beat a top 25 Southern Methodist team who got to 10 wins for the first time since 1984 this season. I would argue that Memphis has a better strength of schedule than Utah, but Memphis ain't going to get anywhere near the college football playoff because they don't play in a Power 5, even as the American has outperformed both the ACC and the Pac-12 when we're talking about how good your football teams have been inside your conference. If anybody is getting worked over this, it's Memphis, because they went and they beat the Cincinnati team that had the 1 loss to the team I think is the best team in the country. And even if you don't, it's the number 2 team in the country. Yes, it was a 42-0 beatdown, but 1 loss is 1 loss. And if we're looking around and we're going, who else has 1 loss and has a pretty well comparable schedule? It'd also be Baylor, right? Because Baylor had beaten who that was ranked, who that you respected. They didn't even want to put Baylor inside the top 10 until they beat Texas. And brands matter the most here, because I thought Baylor should have been a top 10 team from jump when the college football playoff rankings came out. But the fact that they weren't also underscores just what this committee's watching, which is Ohio State and who they have to play, and the SEC. I also know that there's SEC bias on that playoff committee, because I made that upload, and you can go check that out on the channel. It's in the monologue playlist. However, I'll add to this. Appalachian State has 1 loss to Georgia Southern, a 7-5 Georgia Southern team. Ain't as bad as you think they are. And yet you're going to sit here and you're going to tell me that somehow Utah has a better resume than anybody else with 1 loss? Man, Oklahoma's got ranked wins against Baylor, Iowa State, which probably won't be ranked after this week because they got beat by Kansas State. Ranked win against Oklahoma State. Ranked win against Texas, which you could counteract and you could say, hey, Texas ended up 7-5. I'm saying, though, that if you wanted to look at Oklahoma's schedule, you're going to find Oklahoma State or Iowa State or Kansas State or any one of those teams that's ranked along with Baylor, and you're going to see a ranked win. Whereas with Utah, what are you going to see? You're going to see Utah beat a USC team with 4 losses. You're going to see Oklahoma beat a Baylor team with 1. Now, this is all as we get ready for the conference championship game that's going to be played on Saturday, where we're going to get some more moving and shaking, because as much as it sucks for Wisconsin, if they beat Ohio State, nobody's going to care. Nobody's going to put them in the college football playoff. The Rose Bowl is the best they can hope for. I also think that this loss for Alabama against Auburn, against the Fighting Malzahns, kicks them out of the Sugar Bowl. Now, I think that on merit, you got to go with Georgia if they take an L against LSU, or Florida or Auburn. You can't go with Bama, because Bama doesn't have a ranked win at all. At all, according to the playoff committee. And then according to the according to the Associated Press poll, it's only Texas A&M. 7-5 Texas A&M. 50-7 beatdown by LSU, doubled them up in the last avenged that loss from last year. So I get what you want to tell me about Bama and how they travel and fan bases and Saban, but you don't even get Tua Tagovailoa in there. You don't even get the draw. All you get is Nick Saban versus Jalen Hurts, and that's boring. Neither one of those dudes got anything to say. But even aside from that, right? That's the sports talk radio of me. Aside from that, you don't actually have a squad that competes. You're hurt. You got Najee Harris in parts. Now, you got a 2017 class that I think is awesome. Jerry Jeudy, Najee Harris, Devontae Smith. I can keep going on it. But how many of them dudes is going to play? How many of them dudes is even going to be up there in the Sugar Bowl trying to get it? Because the last time the Oklahoma applied to play Alabama in the Sugar Bowl, all we had to hear about was Nick Saban saying nobody wanted to be here, and then Trevor Knight goes and beats you down, throwing for 300 yards. I don't want to do that no more. Give me Auburn or Georgia or friggin' Florida. Give me somebody that's got something to prove. Give me Auburn trying to get to 10 wins. Give me Bo Nix. Oh, give me a Jake Fromm squad that already has an L to South Carolina. Give me the Florida squad that only has L's to Georgia and LSU. That's the game to watch. Those are going to be outstanding football games. I don't think that Utah can give you that either.